Oh boy, we've got ourselves a Wednesday injury report today, don't we? We've got ourselves one heck of an injury report from the Seahawks. I know that the internet is all aflutter with Russell Wilson drama. I know there's a lot of stuff coming out from Denver that's interesting, but I've already said what I have to say about that. That stuff going on in Denver, the drama, that has nothing to do with us. So if anybody was wondering what I thought about some of the stuff that's come out over the last couple of hours there, maybe I'll talk about it in a stream at some point, but I'm not going to make a video about it. What I am going to make a video about, though, is this very long Wednesday injury report that is at least a little bit alarming. I got it from Condota on X, and it is Wednesday, so it's not terrible yet, but it's still a little bit alarming, shall we say. It's a little bit, I don't know, how do you want to put it? It's a little bit concerning. It's at least something, right? So let's go through it here, starting with the DNPs, the did not participates. Now, the good news is a couple of these guys are only out because they're resting. Bobby Wagner, Jaron Reed, and Frank Clark. And I don't think we really care either way about Frank Clark because he's such a zero impact player at this point, unfortunately, that even if he was out, I don't think we'd mind that much. So that's the good news. But there's a lot going on this report that could be a problem come game day. We have plenty of time to clear this, but for the moment, it looks intimidating. So we've got D. Eskridge with his ribs injury that apparently is going to last the rest of his life. Um, I, I think that some people are starting to theorize that he's basically just being put on ice until the end of the season so they can cut him. But they keep listing him on the injury report like something could happen, like they expect him to potentially be able to come back at some point. But I think we've seen the last of D. Eskridge as a Seahawk, and I certainly don't have a problem with that, and I don't think anybody here will, but it is notable. Jason Peters was out with a foot injury. Luckily, we don't really need him that badly anymore, although he did rotate in when Bradford missed some snaps in this most recent game, so we still have some potential use for him depending on the game. And Peters, he he is at the age where a little injury can last a long time. So I don't know what to expect this week from him, but luckily he at least doesn't start anymore, I guess. Ken Walker still nursing the shoulder injury that he's probably just going to be working through that the rest of the season. That's probably not going to get better now. And he's also got an illness, but it's Wednesday, so that should be whatever. And obviously, that's the big one. That's the one that would really hurt us if he wasn't out there. But it seems like something that he's just going to have to deal with for the rest of the year, but it's not going to keep him out of games. Nick Ballore also did not, excuse me, Nick Ballore did not practice. Again, not really somebody we would miss horribly if he did miss the game, but he did not participate with a knee injury. Seems like he's had something going on here, and we might need to start thinking about things in a self-preservation context where we really need Ballore to be healthy enough to release in this offseason so we can save money. So I'm wondering if maybe we should just shut him down for that reason. It's not like we really need him, and that money that he's going to make next year is non-trivial for sure. It's significant. Jordan Brooks, this is another big one, did not participate, and everything we're hearing from Carroll indicates he's probably not going to be back this week, which that matters. You guys know that I'm not the world's biggest Jordan Brooks fan, but I do think that this year he's brought some very good things to the table for the Seahawks, and he would be missed if he can't go on game day. So Jordan Brooks, going to keep a very close eye on him, but straight up doesn't seem like he's playing this week. Doesn't seem like we're getting him back maybe until the playoffs if we're lucky. Like, if he missed the rest of the season, I would not be surprised. I'll put it that way. So that's obviously a bummer. Mario Edwards didn't practice with a knee. Now, he's an older player, so that's probably a rest day as much as anything else. Not really worried about that. But it is a little bit alarming when you combine that with the Draymond Jones did not participate with a shoulder injury, which I believe is new. So suddenly your defensive line is down to very, very little. Like, you have no depth as it is. Now you really have no depth. So, yeah, that's definitely concerning. Noah Fant with a knee injury. I know Noah Fant isn't playing great lately. He's not really getting open. It seems like he's not really contributing on offense, but I do feel like that while he's here for these last few games before he hits the market, we need to figure out what we can do with him because there is some clear talent and ability there. So we got to figure it out with Noah Fant, and I don't think having him in a game for 50 plus snaps or almost 50 snaps and not targeting him once is the best way to go about this. So that's it, but that is some pretty substantial stuff. Like this defensive line, which is already very flawed as is, very weak as is, has so little going on without these guys that we'd probably just have to promote a couple of no-name practice squatters just to have a real defensive line that can play. So, yeah, alarming, concerning. Luckily, most of these guys are, well, not most, but some of these guys are small-time players, part-time players, but there's enough going on here to concern you. Okay, limited participation, it doesn't really get that much better. There's still a lot of names here. There are 8 guys who were limited. Now, limited on Wednesday usually means you'll be good to go on Sunday, but there's no guarantee of that. So let's take a look here. We got Anthony Bradford with his elbow injury. I don't think it's going to cause him to miss a game or anything, but clearly he's being bugged by a lot of things this year. Cannot stay upright, cannot stay healthy, cannot stay 100%, playing through stuff. And it doesn't look like we're getting Phil Haynes back right now because I don't see him listed anywhere here, and I haven't heard anything about him getting reactivated. So we're stuck with Bradford until Haynes gets back, basically. So we need him, and him playing through injuries right now is not helping. He's already limited enough as is. So Bradford being limited, definitely not a good thing, but not unexpected at this point. He's battled so much this year. Jake Bobo, knee injury, limited, should be fine. Jamal Adams got some practice in today, but he's limited. It looks like he's going to play this week, though. I am getting that sense, and I got no problem with it. As long as you use him correctly, you use him intelligently, and you use him not... You don't go on autopilot with Jamal Adams. You use him sparingly, you use him occasionally, and you find a way to allow him to contribute positively to your team without allowing him to hurt the team with some of his limitations right now. And Witherspoon was practicing today, which is a huge step in the right direction. Very good chance he gets back this week, it looks like. Damian Lewis, who came out of that Titans game with an injury, he was limited, so that's a good sign for his availability on Sunday. So feeling pretty decent about that, at least. We've got Quandre Diggs resting, Tyler Lockett resting, so that's basically nothing. Just 2 veterans getting a little bit of time off. JSN with his knee injury, which he probably sustained crashing into the concrete at the Titan Stadium when he was running through the end zone. He came back after that and caught one of the biggest catches of the season and made other plays as well, so I don't think there's anything going on there that's really alarming. But he was limited, so worth noting that he may not be 100% at the moment. And full participants included Abraham Lucas with a knee injury. Again, he's just going to be here the rest of the year, and it is what it is. Trey Brown, full participation with a heel injury. And Leonard Williams, listed as an ankle injury, full participant. Can't really say I'm alarmed about anything there. If you're a full participant on Wednesday, it'd be very weird if you miss the game, unless you're coming back from like a long-term injury. And none of these guys are at this point. But yeah, there's enough going on this injury report to definitely concern you. And we need to get some clarity in the next day here to have a good feeling about this Steelers game. Because we'll go over to the Steelers side in a second here, but they're not looking nearly as bad. So 11 players in DNP, 8 players in LP, and 3 players in FP. That is a significant chunk of the team. So the Steelers side of things is actually pretty simple. They've got 4 guys who didn't practice, but they're 4 guys that are important. You've got Isaac Sumalo, their guard. I think he used to be an Eagle. He's an important part of that offensive line, did not practice. Alandon Roberts, one of their linebackers, did not practice. Minka Fitzpatrick, one of their studs on defense, did not practice. Najee Harris did not practice. So that is actually a pretty decent chunk of their team. But other than that, they're not looking to be in too bad a shape. Now, I don't want to downplay that. That's literally starting running back, starting safety, part of their linebacker rotation, and a starting guard. And a really good starting guard at that. But other than that, you've got Kenny Pickett, who's going to be the backup quarterback this week anyway, and Trenton Thompson is limited, so he'll probably be ready to go for game day. But I mean, you stack our injury report next to theirs, there's no comparison. I mean, this article even does that. They list out everything that we got going on here, and you got to scroll through it. You don't really have to scroll through this, it's just all there. And that's really about it. I mean, that's a lot to take in. That's a lot to digest, a lot to be concerned about. And it's not unexpected this late in the season, but at the same time, if we go into the game on Sunday and this is what we're looking at, I can't imagine anything good happening. So here's to things getting better by the time we get to kickoff. All right, I'll see you guys later. Should be on Twitch later tonight. Go Hawks. Lot to talk about. But yeah, that's your injury report for Wednesday. We'll see if it clears up tomorrow.